Risk is anything that's going to prevent your northern star being reached. Anything that impacts on that route map, on that journey, that progress towards your end goal and objective is a risk. In this week's episode on I Hate Numbers, I'm going to be looking at a rake approach to dealing with risk. That's register, action, information, and cost benefit. Hi folks, welcome to another weekly episode on the channel that is I Hate Numbers. The channel that's got a mission to improve that battle that goes on between your ears, to increase your financial awareness and help you and your business make more money, save tax and save time. My name is Mahmood. I'm an accountant, educator and mentor, and now a proud author of the book that will change your relationship for the better with numbers. And the book is called, drumroll, I Hate Numbers. Let's crack on with the video. The rake approach is about, firstly, we must be able to record the risks that we have, the risks that we've identified on a risk register. If you check the show notes, there's a link also into a longer video which explains how a risk register is put together and used. Fundamentally, the risk register will record the nature of the risk, typically categorized under strategic risk, under financial risk, operational risk, and compliance. It will identify that risk and it will then give it a scoring. And the scoring is made up of the likelihood of that event actually occurring and the impact if that risk does actually manifest. So let me give you an example. If we look at a financial risk, it's about not getting paid on time. Well, what's the likelihood of that? What we need to consider is what's our current relationship with our credit customer accounts? Do we collect that money in promptly? Is it causing an issue? So that involves some degree of analysis. And therefore, if we feel that our credit control is really good, we've historically had no challenges, that risk score might be given a very low 4. What's the impact about not getting paid? Well, if you don't get paid, you don't have any money coming into the organisation, don't have any money coming into your business, the impact is going to be quite catastrophic. If we look at a risk like a product decline, customers not buying your products, well, what's the likelihood of that actually occurring? Well, if you're looking at your information, your records, and you see a sales decline, that's quite likely. What's the impact? Well, if nobody buys from you, the impact will be quite catastrophic and your business will not sustain itself. Within the risk register, as well as thinking about the likelihood of the impact, if we put those together, some people like to use narrative description terms. I personally speaking prefer to put those on a numeric scale. So if the likelihood, like a meteorite coming to Earth, the likelihood is going to be quite low, go towards the 1. Notice I'm not scoring it with a 0. The impact, if it did hit the Earth and it was quite a sized meteorite, the impact will be quite catastrophic. Check out what the dinosaurs have got to say on that one. Action. Having identified the risk, having identified what the scoring is overall, we then need to make sure we carry out some action points. So if we think about the bad debts, not getting paid on time, actions are doing things like credit assessments, things making sure we've got a robust credit control policy, terms and conditions laid out at the beginning, a culture of engaging with clients and customers who don't pay on time, a way of collecting that money in. There's always obviously legal action that can follow, but actually we've got to take action and we've got to have reports monitoring what the state of play is with that. If products are in decline, the action points could be understanding why the products are not selling. Is the product coming towards the end of its life cycle? Is it not really providing a solution and solving that client's, that customer's problems and then pain points? If it's not doing that, that could be an issue. Is it a pricing issue? Is it a quality issue? Until we know, we investigate, we take action, and we can put things in its place. I talk about information. You cannot make these decisions purely based on your instinct and purely what flows through your organisation according to this. You need to have real hard information. That data needs to be collated. You need to understand the information. You need to be able to interpret it. So I will know I've got a problem with credit control if my what's called aged receivables, how long it takes customers to pay. If you don't have that system telling you who's overdue, how long it's been overdue, how much is involved, then you don't know where to focus your attention. If you're not collecting stats, information, monitoring and reviewing your product sales, what they're generating by way of profitability, by way of sales volume, etc., how do you know you've got a problem? Lastly, think about C, and that's cost benefit. And your business decisions will always be like a seesaw, resting at equilibrium on its fulcrum. You've got the costs, the resources going that way, and they've got to at least get to that stage where the benefits outweigh them. So if the benefits are going to be reputational, financial, the ability to sell more, that's going to be up that way. If the costs of doing that are quite prohibitive, quite expensive, then it's going to go that way. So evaluate them carefully, and any change in your culture and behaviour, remember, is going to be one footprint at a time. Let's just wrap this up. So we have a situation of register, take action, make sure you've got information that provides that input that you need for your decision making, and do a cost benefit analysis of the action points you've decided to do. Ultimately, it's about getting to your Northern Star. That's what we're looking for. Hope you found this video useful. If you did, I'd love it if you could subscribe and even tell your friends and leave some comments and feedback for me as well. Check out the notes also for the link to my book, I Hate Numbers, and I can promise you folks, it's a good, lovely read. I've got some really warm feedback from there, and it will change your relationship with numbers for the better. Until then, as Nick Ross would say, don't have nightmares.